What's up, guys? Another episode of We Don't Know Ball coming at you live. And I kind of just want to rip the fucking Band-Aid off. So, Retro, what happened?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Justin, you said you had other games you want to talk about, right? Anything but this game, please. Thank you.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but I'm just vibing right now. This is just a great song. Man, I don't even know what to tell you, Retro. That was oh boy. We can jump into that game relatively quickly. I just want to go over 4 things really quickly about it. Or before we jump in. First one. Since all of you people on TikTok are such diehard Ravens fans, you're still frauds. Good news is you can't lose this week unless somebody gets hurt in practice. So, good for you. There's a plus. You can't lose this week. You get the extra week for Lamar to hopefully get healthy. Maybe you guys get your identity back on the field under center. Even then, sucks to suck. The other one is Rico fucking Dowdle stuck it to Dallas. That motherfucker showed up and said, "Fuck you, you should have never cut me, you should never this." Good for Rico Dowdle. Backup's backup. Everyone in front of him gets injured, and he just goes crazy. Good for Dowdle.
Yeah, he had a great fucking game, revenge game. And quick thing for the Ravens stuff before you go on. Can we talk about how Brett Hundley, when he got into that game, revived the fucking Ravens, and the offensive line is doing prime Saddam Hussein shit because they are just awful. That is atrocious. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just, the whole thing just makes me laugh. Is like, I got called out because motherfuckers don't understand how TikTok works when clips get posted, and they want to comment on shit from weeks before, about people getting injured. So, what about your stars that aren't injured? What about Derrick Henry? I mean, yeah, cool. He kind of had a little bit of a bounce back game. I believe he finally got over 100 yards for the first time in a couple weeks. I will say again, and I said it last week, is Zay Flowers gets way more involved in the offense when Lamar's not under center, which is just phenomenal to me that other quarterbacks will actually try to utilize him as a receiver one. And anyone can say he's not a receiver one, but he also just doesn't get targets when Lamar is in the offense, which it is what it is. I mean, Lamar's looking to check down running back, check down Mark Andrews, check down anybody that's literally not Zay Flowers. So, which is
check down and throw it to Butterfinger Flowers, bro. Like, there's only I don't know if I'm Lamar. I don't know if I trust Zay Flowers to haul the ball in on a consistent basis. But
well, if I'm Baltimore, I don't trust my team to do fuck all if Lamar's not in the lineup. So if we want to talk about
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
The next thing I want to jump to really quickly is Mac Jones threw for 347 yards and lost.
Garbage time.
What in the actual fuck? No, not garbage time. Christian McCaffrey time. Anyway,
Nah.
The last one I want to get to is, this one's a kind of controversial topic, and we'll kind of get into it a little more on why I feel this way later. Is Baker Mayfield on track for MVP if his receivers can stay healthy? He's fourth in the league in yards, T3 for touchdowns, bottom 4 in interceptions, and 8th in passer rating.
Before you go, Retro, I'm sorry, because I was looking at all this kind of stuff, because we were talking about the unfortunate Kermit the Frog guy there in Kansas City, and that's
he must have heard us.
No, because you can make an argument with some stuff, but going back to the Baker thing, Baker's having a better season than he is.
Baker's having a better season than every quarterback that we put above him to start the year.
And people, what I don't like about the NFL community is that they hold on to reputation more than what is actually happening in the moment, because the people have to prove it to them in certain situations in the playoffs. So like the regular season just doesn't matter for NFL fans, and I hate that. Why can't I use my eye test? Why can't I use the stats to be like, this is happening right now? Why can't we push this? And I'll get to that once we go against my team.
Because but that's the thing, is it happens, and I mean, we're all a part of the basketball community as well, and that's just what people do. Is, I mean, people cherry pick stats, they move the goalpost, they do this, they do that. It's like, can we just witness, like, I don't want to say greatness because that just entitles, like, he's great, but like, can we just witness his success as it's developing in front of us? That Baker Mayfield is actually a good quarterback, was never actually the underrated quarterback that we thought he was. It's the fact that he was a Cleveland Brown. Like, he got traded it to the Rams, and I remember because I was at the game when he played the Packers on a Thursday night. Went to that game, and Baker was outstanding. Unfortunately, the Packers were just able to run all over him, and he had to like try to lead 2 back-to-back, like, not garbage time drives, but he had to run 2 2-minute drills in a row to try to get back down the field, and he looks fucking good. He is one of the only quarterbacks in the league. I think there's probably 6 of the 32 that actually start that actually look comfortable in the pocket and actually look comfortable in their scheme right now, and he's one of them.
Absolutely. I think that he is like, again, when we talk about comfortability in the pocket, he's definitely up there. And I saw an interview with him saying it's weird that I've had the same personality on bad teams. Everybody just called me cocky and that I'm arrogant and all this kind of stuff. I have the same personality as I do now. I saw him chirping at all these 49 players. Now everybody's like, he's got that dog in him because we're a winning team.
My favorite is the video of the fan talking shit to him before the game, and then him coming back to the tunnel and finding that same fan and just yelling back at him as he's going off the field. Here's the thing: Baker's always been a winner. High school, I believe he's the second best Texas high school football quarterback of all time, behind, crazy enough, Kyler Murray, which is hilarious. Then you have his success at Oklahoma. Like, he was a stud. Like, nobody can deny that one. Like, he was a stud in college. And then, yeah, cool. You get drafted to the Browns, which basically, if you get drafted to the Browns, Jaguars, or Titans, your career's over before it started.
And
shout out Marcus Mariota. Like, it
and
just is what it is.
Playoffs. I don't know why the Browns got rid of him. There was really no reason to, because he brought them to the playoffs. But yeah,
because we're the Cleveland Browns. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, literally, God forbid you get something nice. Got to make sure that if you're Cleveland and you get a good quarterback, you have to make sure to get rid of them as fast as possible,
or destroy their career immediately.
Yeah, exactly. One or the other.
Just go pick up somebody who's got legal problems or sexual allegations of some sort and this, that, and the other. Just go find somebody who's a problem and bring them to Cleveland, because they're really good at that.
It's crazy because Baker got put on death row twice. He got sent to the Browns and the Panthers, but he was able to escape death row 2 different times. Insane.
Perfect. I'm glad you said it. Speaking of escaping death row, let's jump right into Game 1, Chicago versus Washington.
Like,
retrospect music, Mr. Tracer.
Where's the confetti? I said the confetti needs to be popping. We need to be.
I'm sorry. I had a financial blunder in my life that happened that I had to drop unforeseeable money. Otherwise, there would be balloons, streamer. Believe me, I was ready for it. Oh my god.
Please go,
Retro.
Blaze.
I have questions, sir. I do. First off, does your team know the meaning of ball security? Whether it is handoffs, untimed throws, protection in general for your great quarterback. That I would just like to know. Second off, does your team know how to tackle bottom 15 running backs? Third thing, does your team know that Deebo Samuel, I don't know what he's on pace for, Retro. I literally have on my notes, what's he on pace for? 4 catches for 15 yards. But I will, before I let you go, I will also say, does Washington know this loss does not hurt them as bad as everyone actually thinks?
I hate it here.
I'm sorry. No, I want to hear how JD5 quote unquote outplayed Caleb, but Caleb didn't have a turnover. I understand he had a 20 point higher passer rating. Good for fucking JD5. Doesn't matter. Caleb didn't throw a pick. Caleb didn't turn the ball over. That's fine. The other thing is, Bill got outran by DeAndre Swift, which you brought up to me earlier before we started, that the last time DeAndre Swift had over 100 yards in the backfield was against who last year in Week 8, Retro? Oh, that's right, you guys. So I'd just like to know, with the NFC East burning, because that division is literally a dumpster fire and a half. We'll get to you. We'll get to you, fraudulent Eagles, later. You're defending champs. You're everything. We're the worst fans in football team. First, we're going to start with the team that actually should have beat you in the division this year, and their number one fan, and I'll be their number one hater right now, except for JD5. Shout out LSU, go Tigers. But Retro, let's hear about how your quarterback didn't manage against a bottom half defense. Your quote unquote rookie running back is getting outran by a guy with CTE permanently as a rookie. Let's talk about how your offensive line can't protect literally anyone. Where do you want to start, dude?
Okay. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do before I rant about how garbage my team looked last night is I'm going to talk about the fact that JD5 once again proved he is much better than Caleb Williams at the quarterback position. It's honestly not even close. So, jumping into that. Last night, discounting drops, because there were 2 drops, so JD went 21 of 26. It would have been around 230 passing yards, and he had 3 touchdowns. And he also had 52 rushing yards. So he got more touchdowns than Caleb, more yards total, a better completion percentage, higher QBR. I mean, he outplays him in every possible statistical category. The only things that are a knock on Jaden are the pick in the first quarter, which, I mean, yeah, he's been having bad first quarters. I don't really know what that's about. But the pick in the first quarter, which ultimately wasn't the reason why Washington lost, it really had nothing to do with it. And then the fumble, which, yes, the fumble was bad, but, like, realistically, it's raining. Like, I understand the ball is slippery, and honestly, he never should have been in that position in the first place, because if Cliff Kingsbury knew what I formation was, or knew what single back formation was, we wouldn't have had this problem. What it should have been is an under center snap, and then we would have gotten the first down, and we would have won the game. We lost ourselves that football game, but Jaden was not the reason. So, I already talked about his stats, and that's, like, obviously better than Caleb. But I want everybody to keep in mind, this is with Terry McLaurin out, Noah Brown out, his number 2 Debo playing with a hurt heel, JD playing with a hurt knee that was re-aggravated by a super low hit, 0 offensive line. He probably got like half a second to throw the football. And a run game that unfortunately did nothing this game. That Bears run defense was supposedly terrible, but they stacked the box this game, and the run went nowhere. So, JD5 was working with basically like twigs and sticks and still had a better game than Caleb. He's solidified better than Caleb Williams. That's not even a question anymore. But outside of JD5, time for me to rant a little bit. And actually, before I do that, Dorrance Armstrong is 5th in the league in sacks now. So thank you, Dorrance Armstrong.
Just so we're clear, the entire time you've been talking, I've been listening to Bear Down Chicago Bears. I hope you know that.
Fantastic, okay? Dorrance Armstrong's 5th in the league in sacks. Thank you, Dorrance, for being useful. And Marshawn Lattimore was our only good player in the secondary, so thank you, Marshawn Lattimore. Outside of that, we beat ourselves last night. It was once again another story of us outplaying Chicago, same thing as last year. But last year, we were able to actually get the win off a Hail Mary. And this year felt like Chicago just getting bailed in the opposite direction. It felt like the universe kind of like putting itself back into place. But it was awful. As I said before, our first quarter was terrible. We just suck in the first quarter. I don't know what the problem is. We've started out games this year down 10-0, 13-0, 10-0, back-to-back. It's annoying. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if Dan Quinn can't figure out how to coach in the first quarter. I don't know what the issue is. That's a problem. We had the dumb pick that wasn't really relevant, but it was a stupid pick. We had Matt Gay not knowing how to kick a field goal, which is the reason why we actually lost the game, because if Matt Gay could kick a field goal, we would literally have won the game. I hate the fact that we can't kick the ball. We have the worst kickers in the league. We can't find one. I don't know what the problem is with this organization, that we can't just go sign Younghoe Koo off the street. I would take Blankenship because he could probably kick a 50-yard kick. So I don't know what we're thinking as far as kick is concerned. I don't know. We had 2 dropped interceptions because I guess Mikey Sainristil forgot how to catch a football. I don't know. We tried to tackle. Not DJ Moore. DeAndre Swift, 55-yard touchdown. But unfortunately, Quan Martin's the worst player I've ever seen, so he couldn't make a tackle. I mean, Bill had his fumble earlier on in the game. We had penalties erasing big plays. Luke McCaffrey had a huge kick return, and he had a huge catch that both got erased by penalties. The O-line was garbage. The secondary was garbage. I don't know if I've ever watched a more painful game in my life as a Washington fan. The fact that we were even in that game is a testament to how bad the Bears are, but we should have won that football game. I don't know. I've never seen worse from our team. For whatever reason, DeAndre Swift also only decides to turn it on when he plays us. I don't know why that is. Justin, you brought it up, but the last time DeAndre Swift had over 100 yards from scrimmage was last year against us in Week 8. I guess he just hates Washington. I don't know why.
Shout out the 34th ranked run defense in all of football, the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe DeAndre Swift hates us. I don't know. Maybe we decided not to draft him in the draft process. I don't know. But we sucked last night. I don't know what it was.
All right, Crash Out, you're done. Jules, quickly wrap this game up for me. I mean,
yeah. So quickly, for the people who are watching, shout out Emmett Lynch, best friend from back home. And I've told this story to these guys off screen. DeAndre Swift played at St. Joe's Prep at Philadelphia and broke and ended my best friend's football career. What he looked like last night looked like what he was doing to my best friend back in high school. The fact that he single-handedly hates the Washington Commanders is hilarious to me. The fact he's getting over 100 yards against you guys is disgusting. And if you guys were seeing on when Retro was monologuing, I put up the Cope Extra meme because that's all I knew. That's literally the only notes that I have, is that he looked like prime St. Joe's Prep DeAndre Swift.
Do you still have it up? Jules, do you still have it up? Can you put it on the screen quick? Well, put it back up while I ask Retro a question. I just want to ask Retro a question because I've heard it every week since he's been skinny. Mr. Retro, sir. Can you just tell me what Debo's on pace for now after 4-15?
I don't know. He had a hurt heel last night, so he didn't have a great game.
He didn't have a hurt heel when he was going off for like 90-something yards last week.
Right? That's Cope. Well, that's Cope mega strength.
He had a hurt heel during practice this week. They transitioned.
All right, well, let's move on before Retro tries to kickstart a shotgun because his team is dog shit. Anyway,
okay, buddy. Oh, listen, we're fine.
Let's move on from one overrated quarterback to another.
No. You are not saying overrated quarterback. JD5 played great last night. I don't want to hear anything.
The guy I just called overrated is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Your quarterback is 50-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and you're trying to lecture.
Looks better than your guy right now, and he's putting wins on the board.
Looks better than JD5,
and he's putting wins on the board. So I don't really care. Anyway, he has lost his namesake for this week. Haley Steinfeld's husband went 15 for 26 for 180 yards, and I'm pretty sure that he put 80 of those up in the first quarter. 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, 6 rushes for 42 yards. Are we on an MVP curse, or do we really just overrate Josh Allen?
Do you mind if I start this off, because this shit is hilarious to me? So I put up a picture because we are in a fantasy league for our audience, and on Sleeper they're able to change profile pictures. I was watching more of the Falcons and Bills game on my end because these two already were having their wits on the other end. and I go to the middle of the game on Sleeper, and they changed Josh Allen's profile picture to Haley Seinfeld. That's hilarious. But talking about this game, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, I brought to the attention that Michael Penix, doesn't look as great because of the wide receivers kind of giving up on routes. And even though they won this game and Michael Penix, threw the hell out of the ball to Bijan, shout out to Bijan and Drake London, who both had good games, I counted 5 or 6 times on tape that Drake London is giving up on the route. He could have had an even better game than he did. And the Buffalo defense isn't necessarily like all that. And even in certain situations, like Michael Penix is being able to progress through his reads, all that kind of stuff. And Drake London, I'm seeing just completely just shut a route down. So like it's Michael Penix like doing majority of the work, and then the wide receivers are just like whatever, giving up. It's a whole type of like the effort on the offensive side that it just looks so off to me that it's like, do we just hate Michael Penix in disguise? Because like it's weird. It's just weird to me.
Well, the one thing that I have for this that's really interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up about Drake London and Bijan. I went and actually crunched the numbers on it because I was just intrigued. Atlanta had 443 yards of total offense. 396 between Bijan and Drake London. Literally 47 yards between the rest of the team on offense.
Is Kyle Pitts still in the jail underneath the stadium?
Yeah, and that's why Retro's actually not allowed to talk, because if he would have started talking, I was going to tell him he could go join Kyle Pitts in his cell under the jail. I believe Kyle Pitts was 3 receptions for either 12 or 15 yards, so it really wasn't like he didn't do anything. It's just the fact that you're in jail. No, you're in.
No. This is the problem. We're not allowed to encourage greatness these days. Kyle Pitts is a great tight end. He's not in tight end jail. It's just the fact that
you're holding his cell, which is why he can't be in jail right now.
Teammates that were both really, really good. You already touched on Bijan. The guy had 238 yards total. So I mean, yeah, obviously, like
170 on the ground for him on 19 carries is pretty impressive.
Right. I mean, he played out of his mind. He averaged 9 yards per touch. Like, that guy was going absolutely insane. So was Drake London. I want to shout out D. Alford because he had a sack and a pick. So I mean, that guy was playing out of his mind. So shout out D. Alford. You already talked. Penix looks pretty good. Haley Steinfeld's husband looked terrible. I don't know if Drake May did the thing in Space Jam where the Monstars come in and they steal your abilities. I don't know if that's what happened, but that was pretty rough. And then the last thing I wanted to say that I think is interesting is I think the NFC has now supplanted the AFC as the best conference in football. It's been the AFC for a while, but you've got the Bills on a downtrend. You've got the Ravens without Lamar. You have the Chiefs that are kind of on a downtrend. Even though they beat the Lions, they're still not looking amazing this season. And you look at the NFC, and I mean the NFC West alone. I mean this season, you've got the Niners, you've got the Seahawks, you've got the Rams, you have the Lions. I mean you've got so many teams that are just in contention. The Buccaneers, so I think the NFC has now officially supplanted the AFC, and I think the Super Bowl champion will come out of the NFC. I think.
I agree. And just to because we don't need to spend too much time, but I do want to be segueing to this game from this point. Why do we all give Jalen Hurts this overrated type of thing when he loses against the Giants and Jackson Dart? But we don't give that same energy to Josh Allen when he shits his pants against the Atlanta Falcons. So can we talk about that? Because I see everybody on TikTok saying Jalen Hurts is ass and he's not a good processor. Then what's the excuse for Josh Allen, guys? Let's keep it consistent.
I would gladly take this one. What's the excuse? Oh man. All right, let's start here. Offensive line is better. He has 2 top receivers in the league. He has Saquon Barkley in his backfield. He has a phenomenal defense behind him to get him the ball back whenever he needs. So Jalen Hurts should actually have more touches on the football than Josh Allen. Therefore, Jalen Hurts should actually have more chances to look fraudulent, which he already does. Oh boy, where do we want to? Do we really need to continue? There is not a reason to scrutinize Josh Allen for this because Josh Allen is doing what Josh Allen has done since the start of his career. He is carrying a mediocre franchise, regardless of what you guys say or not. He's carrying a mediocre offense. He literally has no number one receiver, and they're guys that they drafted 2 years ago. I mean, let's be real. Who's his number one receiver? Keon Coleman? Like, let's be honest.
Coleman and Khalil Shakir are both very good receivers, yeah.
That's great. Doesn't matter. They don't match up to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They don't match up to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. His tight end.
AJ Brown's been in prison this year.
That's because his quarterback doesn't throw him the football. And I literally have in caps for this game, A.J. Brown needs more targets because when he had the ball in his hands, he actually got yards this year. It's kind of crazy how that works. Convinced the Eagles will do anything, and I mean literally absolute anything, instead of let Jalen Hurts drop 3 to 5 steps back and throw a correct football. I mean, that fucking underhand fucking pass to his tight end was just absolutely unbelievable play calling. Great play by them. Don't care, whatever. It's literally another touch push. He flips the ball out and the whole team runs forward. Like, great, cool, whatever. The thing that really pissed me off from this game, especially, like I said, I will say it from the rooftops, I still fucking hate the Eagles, will always hate the Eagles, is the announcers, Jalen Carter Glaze needs to be stopped. They jokingly called him the MVP because of how bad Philly's pass rush is when he's not on the field. It's one fucking guy. The other 3, 4, 5 guys that are rushing the quarterback should still be able to create separation even if Jalen Carter isn't on the field. I'm done ranting about them. I'm moving to the other side of this game. Jackson Dart's the coldest white boy since Joe Burrow entered the league. Cam Scadaboo has permanent CTE, and Cam Scadaboo literally retired Zadarius Smith.
Okay, so let's talk about it because I've had to hear this too. Jackson Dart is a very solid game manager. He's good at game managing. That's what he can do. He's not going to throw over 200 yards because that's not in his wheelhouse. His wheelhouse is to snap the ball and give it to Cam Scadaboo. Now, Cam Scadaboo, on the other hand, that guy is already one of the best running backs in the league. I feel like it was so clear to me in the draft process. I got called stupid by so many people for saying he was better than Genty. It was clear to me the guy can run through 3 people before he gets tackled.
I just want to be clear. I said it first, but yep.
Cam Scadaboo runs through telephone poles. That's what Cam Scadaboo does. That guy
he headbutts walls and runs through them after. Yeah, he's pretty fucking great.
Yeah, he's absolutely insane. He had 3 touchdowns. Like, he had over 100 total yards. He looked great. But yeah, I think that now there unironically might be an argument that Jalen Hurts is currently playing like the worst quarterback in the division. And it probably is the case. Like, if we're being for real, Jackson Dart has played as a better game manager. Jaden's better. Dak is playing at a really high level. So realistically, that kind of seems to be true. Dallas Goedert went off, though, because if there's one thing Jalen Hurts can do, it's throw 5-yard passes. So shout out Dallas Goedert. The Eagles are kind of on a downward spiral like we talked about, but that's because of the NFC East curse. We knew that it would hit eventually, and now it's finally hitting. There can't be a repeat winner. The question is who will win. And I don't know, because this entire division kind of sucks right now, so I don't know what's going on.
I want to go back and touch on my Jackson Dart point before you continue, for the simple fact that I don't understand it. This dude is a rookie quarterback who didn't get to start off the rip. Gets thrown into it against arguably a top 4 or 5 team in football in the Chargers' first week. How does this dude look just so unfazed and so just unbothered, just comfortable in the... This man does not panic. He does not stress. If Jackson Dart actually threw the football more instead of just looking to, like, take off and make, well, he left Zach Bond's ankles at the 10-yard line, so we can talk about that too. But, like, if Jackson Dart would just sit in the pocket and, like, look to make throws, this kid could be unfucking believable. And we all came in talking about how Jackson Dart was not the answer. Jackson Dart, I don't care if he doesn't throw for 200 yards. If he finds ways to win games with minimal checkdowns and does it on his feet, I'm going to say it. Is there any difference in what Josh Allen's doing in Buffalo the last couple years? Like,
I just to quickly finish. Brian Burns had 2 sacks once again. I mean, Brian Burns is just so good. He's one of the best edge rushers in the league. You mentioned Zach Bond. I kind of feel for him because Jackson Dart took his ankles and Scadaboo took his soul because the trucking that he gave to Zach Bond was absolutely not even. It wasn't even needed or necessary. Like Cam Scadaboo just decided to do it because he's Cam Scadaboo. And then as far as Dart is concerned, I don't like drawing parallels early, but I'm just thinking of a Giants quarterback who went to Ole Miss, set all-time records at Ole Miss, then went to the NFL, was a game-managing quarterback, but was really clutch.
Shut the fuck
Or,
up.
hold on, Retro. Are you saying that Jackson Dart is on track to become a Hall of Famer?
No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I'm seeing some early similarities. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's going to be anything like. He might be a bust. He might be. But all I'm saying is the parallels are certainly there, and Giants fans have wanted to make them since he came into the league. So, hey, listen. The Dart train continues to. The Dart train continues to.
The Darty party continues.
So other than that bullshit, I wanted to say to the point really quickly. So player A, AJ Brown, 25 receptions, 45 targets, 274 yards. Yards per reception is 11. 6 plus 20-yard gains, 1 touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 25 receptions, 34 targets. 268 yards, 10.7 yards per reception. His longest is 43 yards, 4 20 yards plus, 2 touchdowns. AJ Brown, Khalil Shakir, the same kind of person up to this point.
Got it. So what we're saying is because Shakir is getting targeted on the minimal passes that Josh Allen throws versus Jalen Hurts completely looking him off in certain games. Like, you got to understand, those numbers can be as comparable as you want, but Khalil Shakir is getting consistent touches of the football. A.J. Brown has went 2 weeks with under 4 catches. He has had 2 weeks without 4, so for us to say, again, you can say same, but different, great, cool, whatever. We know A.J. Brown is elite. The fact that he is getting looked off by this quarterback that I don't think anybody thinks is actually a good quarterback is a problem. Use your weapons that you are dealt.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Retro.
If you come out here and defend Jalen Hurts after the shit I've heard you say about him, I'm going to go insane.
Jalen Hurts has been bad this season. Can we not pretend like he hasn't come top 5 in MVP voting, has 2 Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl win, and a Super Bowl MVP? Can we
okay,
just
yes,
remember?
I'll gladly let you have that point. Why? Please tell me why.
Well,
I'll give you. It is 2 words, 4 letters each. Tush push.
Last year, I'll give you 2 words. I'll tell you why. Lights out. That is what he was throwing like. Lights out. He hit people over the top. He was hitting people in the middles, in the corners. He was roasting that Kansas City defense.
He's only an MVP talks because he leads the league in touchdown runs every year because of the tush push.
It's not good. Right now, I will give you that. He is not good. However, if Jalen Hurts was in the Super Bowl, I would trust him to get over 300 yards with my eyes closed.
I agree because he not only outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and won, he still outplayed with him prior to, and he lost because of a fucking fumble. We're not going to sit here and say that Jalen Hurts didn't clutch up. And the big fact that Jalen Hurts had Saquon Barkley last year, and absolutely. But we're not going to be like, oh, he needs now to throw the football when the whole game plan last year was running the ball 100% of the time when he still had A.J. Brown reading books on the sideline. So we're not going to sit here saying that this is any different. This is what I hate about NFL. No, Justin, let me finish. is that this is
No.
what I hate about the NFL community is that they're acting like Jalen Hurts was like throwing dots throughout the whole year last year when he was still our favorite word, handoff merchant to Saquon Barkley with a better offensive line. Then all of a sudden the expectation is you need to go for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown when he's only done that handpicked times. It's
That's
the
not
whole
the
game plan.
expectation.
The
I mean,
expectation is for
That's
him
not
to
the
process the
that's not the
offense and to
expectation,
run
though.
and to pass the ball multiple times when he didn't do it last year. He
But we
didn't.
talk about it.
it is the expectation depending on the game. He is a Super Bowl riser. It's what he does. So in the Super Bowl, the expectation is he throws over 300 yards because he's done it both times.
Fantastic. Fantastic. He's Jamal Murray. Like, that's what it is. Cool.
Well, no, come on. Like, let's be so for real. Jalen Hurts last year. Speaking of Saquon, by the way, when Saquon went to the Super Bowl and didn't show up because there was 8 men in the box, they said, Jalen,
Guess what happened? Thank you.
And he did. So
okay, then what are we doing? Why are we wasting our time right now at this point? If this is, we talk about it all the time. The definition of insanity is continuing to do something and thinking the outcome is going to change. Nick Sirianni, come to the front of the congregation. Saquon can't run the ball when there's 8 dudes in the box. Let Jalen throw the fucking ball.
And Justin, that's why everybody's on his ass this week because okay, we're having Saquon run for 60 yards. He's not doing shit. Let's throw the ball, and Jalen Hurts is missing the expectation. That is where people are coming from. But I want for everybody to keep this same energy in 2 more weeks when they play the Giants again. And if this thing happens, then we can have more conversations. It's one game, and people were getting on his ass because of these like weird expectations to where how to win football games the past year and a half is running the football and having a good offensive line and bearing down on defense. We haven't had, 5,000-yard passers consistently, multiple guys for years. How you win football games is running the fucking football now. Now, if the Eagles can't do that, then they need Jalen Hurts to step up. And again, I agree. He hasn't stepped up to that expectation this year. But this is why people it's reputation for certain quarterbacks, and then it's in the moment for others. The NFL community is chalked if that's how you will evaluate quarterbacks, because that is completely moving the goalpost. And for all the other TikTok creators that have seen fucking do that, you're on that fucking shit list because you don't keep consistent at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. I'm not going to say that Jalen Hurts is this is what I'll say about Jalen Hurts. I think this year has probably been his worst year in the regular season. But the thing is, if it comes to the playoffs, I expect Jalen Hurts to rise because that's what he's shown that he can do. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is I don't think he's an all-world quarterback, and especially in the regular season, he's not. But when it comes to the Super Bowl, he will rise. That's what he does.
I just want to say then, if we're going to talk about keeping the same consistency, though, we're talking about keeping the same consistency, then these motherfuckers that want to rate him as, oh, well, he's top 5, or he's number 4 just outside the big 4. No, the fuck he's not. No, he's not.
I agree. I had him as number 5. I don't think I can, in good conscience, keep him there, especially with guys like Baker that are putting themselves in the mix right now. I don't think I can keep Jalen Hurts at 5. And then this is the big thing here. If it is in the Super Bowl, there are very few quarterbacks that I would take over Jalen Hurts in the NFL. And
that's great. You still have to play well. You still have to play well to get there. The last thing I want,
but that matters a lot in the biggest game of the year. If I have to choose one quarterback, he is one of very few that I would choose.
Right, but if you don't get there, what does it matter?
Yeah, I mean that's true.
That's the last thing I want to touch on here with these two teams before we move on is Cam Scadaboo in his first 5 games as a Giant. I believe it's somewhere around what did he say? It was 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns or whatever, or something like that. Or not 1,000. It's 575 yards, 5 touchdowns.
I was gonna say 1,000 is insane.
Dude, it was just a weird prompt that popped up. He might have put a 1 in front of it on accident, but it was 575 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is better than Saquon Barkley's first 5 games as a Giant. So we'll just see how this trends out. Well, since we want to talk about one of the best rushers in the game, we might as well move on to one of the best receivers in the game. Jules, I will let you go after I stake my claim for him because we've had fraudulent claims of a true number 4 out of somebody in this in this podcast a lot of
It's
times.
true, he was. Not anymore, but he was.
Yeah, well, ancient history. You love to bring up the past. I'll get you a new shovel.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is 100% the third best receiver in the league behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Actively, he might be number one. Like, it's insane. I hated watching this game for an 8-point separation of a game. This was not an 8-point game by any means. The Seattle dog walked the fuck out of Jacksonville. This is what a real 4-2 team versus a fraudulent 4-2 team looks like. Seattle's defense had 7 sacks for negative 44 yards. If I'm Jacksonville in this situation, I have one thing to tell you, and that's get Travis Hunter more involved in your offense. As much overhype that this kid had coming into the year, I think we all were actually really high on him for the sake of we've seen him do it, and Retro especially watches a lot more college football, but I did watch a lot of Travis Hunter. This kid is the truth. He's not going to be a top 5 receiver in the league by any means, but he should be your number one, and I'll go out on the limb and say he should be your number one. But you need to start taking risks on this kid downfield because he's not going to be as good as JSN is at his job, but he could be a watered-down version of JSN. He can find those slots and do that.
No, I want to be super clear real quick. Travis Hunter should be a top 5 receiver, and he would be if he got targets. Travis Hunter's hands are absurd. I watched the kid in college. I do watch a lot of college football. I have seen him make catches that I've never seen any other receiver make in college football. Travis Hunter was absurd. There's a reason why he was so good at corner. Travis Hunter wasn't that good as a man corner, but one thing he could do is make spectacular catches. His interceptions were always insane because Travis's hands are stupid. The way that you get Travis Hunter involved is you say Travis is down there somewhere and you chuck it up. That's what you need to do. If I'm T-Law, I'm saying, bro, at this point in time, I am a mid-quarterback, and I need to find a deep threat, and Travis Hunter is that guy. To me, it seems pretty clear that if you get him more involved, he's going to be immediately a difference maker. I would stake my reputation on Travis Hunter.
I just think it's funny that we went from talking about Trevor Lawrence last week is he the reason this team's 4-1, and us completely shutting it down to no, it's not. This is exactly why. Like, this whole situation of this game is exactly why it's not Travis Hunter. It's their defense that keeps them in games. It's their ability to have multiple checkdowns, multiple runners get into the 40s and 50 yards. Like, they're a good team, but not a great team in Jacksonville. And I think that, like I said, we've talked a lot this year in our short 9 weeks of doing this podcast about teams having identity crisis. I mean, Jacksonville just actually needs to throw everything at the drawing board and see what sticks, because I think Trevor can bounce back and he can be good. He has decent arm talent when he has the time to do it. His decision making is sketchy, but it's just he has that build, he has that frame, he has that mentality, and he's a great student of the game. It's just I don't think that his offensive coordinators or his head coaches are doing anything to help him utilize the weapons he actually has. Jules, not as much as Retro. Jules, not as much as Retro went on about hate. You got 2 minutes to absolutely go crazy about Sam Darnold being a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and JSN being a top 3 receiver. Go.
So JSN, I've been saying this for weeks. He needs to be in these conversations. Now that this is the game, his best game, he's automatically in these. No, he was doing this in week 2, week 3. He needed to be put in these conversations. Certain person on this fucking podcast called him a slot merchant. The fact that he's getting 75% of his route looks on the outside as a true X receiver, you're a fucking fraud, Justin. Fuck you. Second thing, Sam Darnold is statistically probably shouldn't be within top 10. I don't think he'll be top 5. I won't overrate him. But the fact that Clint Kubiak is still putting him under center, and that offensive line is actually still looking really, really good. He should be probably hovering around top 10. If you have him top 12 or 13, I won't be mad at you, but he's looked superior in good situations. The defense, like I said, I was telling you guys, Mike McDonald is transforming that defense since he's got there. He's got the names now. We had 7 sacks. And mind you, a certain rookie who just came back from injury, was the highest graded safety in Nick Emenwari. Oh yeah, shout out to Nick Emenwari being the highest graded safety as a rookie this past week, because Nick Emenwari is being used as a chess piece, putting him at linebacker, safety. He's putting up at slot corner. He even went down on the defensive end one play. Like, the fact that he's being able to be utilized in so many situations, Nick Emenwari is going to be an animal going forward, and if he stays healthy, he's going to be very valuable. For the Jags, my thing. Shane Waldron might have heard me, because he finally put BTJ into action, and BTJ actually had his best game up to this point. Maybe because Shane Waldron hates the Seattle Seahawks. I don't fucking know. Travis Hunter, you guys were talking about the fact that, he needs to get more involved. Yes, probably so. However, even on the defensive side of stuff, he's getting beat on routes from a rookie, Torrey Horton, who, yes, it's rookie on rookie, but Torrey Horton outplaying Travis Hunter, who's a first-round pick, versus a fifth-round pick. Not very good. So at the end of the day, the Jags are definitely fraudulent, and the key to their success is taking the ball away and giving Trevor Lawrence short-fielded situations to where he can game manage to go and score the football. And when they don't do that, he actually has to play offense, and he is getting into short bust territory because of the fact that he is not being able to process and rise that team, because he still has a losing record as a QB. His stats have been subpar since he's been the number one pick, and we talk about bust and expectations. Trevor Lawrence had those expectations for 2 years, because he went back to Clemson and then came back out and was still consensus number one pick, and he's not lived up to that expectation. So sorry, Trevor Lawrence, you're being put in that. I would disagree, but it's slowly looking like that. That's my whole thing. Thank you for the monologue.
Well, first off, I'm going to defend my position of calling JSN a slot merchant, because before this year, his route tree wasn't as open as it actually is. So he really was, quote-unquote, a slot merchant in the offense that they had last year. He really was. It was hit him on a check down in a 5 to 7 yard route and let him do his thing. It's the same way that the Lions treated Amon-Ra before they let Amon-Ra actually have more of a route tree. So JSN 100% was a slot merchant. He came into this year and he certified himself, and I don't know what route tree they handed him, but they must have handed him Devontae Adams' book, because this man runs every route under the sun. And guess what? I'm convinced at this point this man doesn't have a route tree, and he can literally just two-step a corner and take off downfield, and Darnold will find him.
And Justin, I will agree to that, but if you remember last year when your wide receiver one, DK Metcalf, went down and JSN took over that X role, that was when I was able to see JSN expand his route tree, and after DK came back, he was still getting more targets, more receptions, more responsibility just then in the slot.
Right.
So I can agree to that. I can agree with that.
So what I got out of it is JSN is hindered as a number 2 option, and they couldn't give him a number 1 option off the jump because they had too much money invested in DK Metcalf. Therefore, when he went down and they could hand him the actual number 1 spot, he showed, hey, this is my team, fuck off, DK, and then he goes to my team, which I can segue right into my fucking team.
Well, hold on.
You're in jail. You lost to the Bears. You're in jail. You lost to the Bears. You lost to Caleb Williams. Put the nail paint on. I almost did it for you, dude.
So this is what I was going to say about the game. So the first thing is, you were talking
I'll play the song again, I swear to God.
You were talking about safeties, Jules, and I want to give a quick shout out to actually a different safety. Top 5 in the league right now in grade, Jonas Sanker, safety for the Saints. No one knows who he is. He played at the University of Virginia, 3rd round pick. No one knows who Jonas Sanker is, but he has quietly been one of the best safeties in the league. So I want to give a quick shout out to my UVA boy, Jonas Sanker. But outside of that, in this game,
can I mute you?
You don't
get to talk about UVA players after you didn't rush the field. You're done. You're done. You're cooked.
Outside of that, right? So outside of that, JSN is top 5, as Jules said. I agree. I was one of the people that was on JSN early because I watched him play at OSU. Like Justin said, I watch a lot of college ball. I would never call him a slot merchant because that's not a good thing to do with a receiver as good as JSN is. But just kind of fraudulent in that respect. So gotta, you should probably be in jail for that take. To be
Oh,
honest,
I should be
we should probably
fraudulent.
put
Hold
you
on.
in jail.
I should
We
be
should
in
probably
jail
put
for
you
being
in jail.
fraudulent off of. No. I should be fraudulent and in jail off of eye test because I believe that's what we all talk about in here is why can't we use eye test? Last time I checked, I used my eye test from last year, and the 5 games that JSN did play as the X, cool, great, good for him. He did have a
Well, my
route tree
eye
last year.
test tells me
But
my
a
eye test
majority of his
tells
yards
me
last year was because he was a slot merchant last year as a receiver too. So, therefore, I'm not fraudulent. I was correct by using the eye test because if you go back and watch all those games when JSN was the number 2, he was a slot merchant. So again,
my eye
fuck
test
you.
tells me
Justin,
that.
put on these big ass sunglasses so you can actually fucking see what you're
Well,
watching.
my
Anyway,
Believe me,
eye
because you
test
just
tells
agreed with me, so you can't come at me sideways.
Well,
Anyway, Retro.
no,
No,
I'm
you're
not
done.
yet.
You
No,
gave
I'm
the
not even
irrelevant
close to
stat
done
of the
yet.
day.
No,
You're done.
I am not even close to done yet. My eye test tells me that George Pickens should have been staying with your team, and you shouldn't have gotten rid of him because he's playing infinitely better than DK.
I
is.
100% agree. I told you from the jump I wanted to see what the CTE twins could do this year.
On to the Seattle game. So you already mentioned Darnold and JSN, so I don't need to talk about that. But yeah, they both played really well. The Seahawks run game, though, very weak. 22 rushes for 58 yards. That's kind of been a problem this year that the Seahawks, I think, need to fix. I understand the passing game is strong, but that run game is going to have to develop for the playoff run, I think. But I want to give a quick shout out, AJ Barner, another big game, 3 catches for 71 yards. He was second in receiving for the Seahawks.
61 of those came on 1 fucking reception. I'm not moved.
So
Jules, can we just mute him at this point? Like,
AJ
he's
Barner.
just rampant.
And then just to go ahead and finish, T-Law was like okay, but not great. I just want to give my last shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence, shades of mid 2010s. He had 2 sacks. D-Law coming back, looking like he did in his prime. Huge game from D-Law and huge game from the Seahawks defense. I think the Seahawks have a legitimate chance to make a run. It's really interesting. I feel like the heavy throw, gunslinging type offense the Seahawks are running is very similar to Tampa Bay's, and I think that could be a really interesting matchup between Seattle and Tampa Bay if they played in the playoffs. That's something I want to see. But that's all I have to say. And
thank you 1 week late, Retro, backing off the comment I said last week when we had the game, when I said this should be the NFC Championship game last year. Retro, dude, first off, you brought up the Saints. What the fuck, dude? Just go support.
Justin, let's move on. Let's segue.
Yeah, let's segue. We'll go from the Saints to the Browns. Dog shit versus dog shit. I'm starting here.
Please glaze the Steelers.
No, I don't want to glaze the Steelers. I have one good thing to say because I literally have
What?
Retro, it's
9 and
happening.
8.
Shut the fuck up. Yes, Retro, it's happening. Shut the fuck up. My only real big note on this is, Packer fans, it's really not that hard. Like, just beat them. Like, if you just show up and beat them.
Oh my god.
Like that's really what it is.
God.
As far as
7.
Yeah, literally.
7.
As far as this game, which again, I don't care. Anyone that wants to call me a fake fan in the comments and da-da-da-da, like they always do, because I always want to shit on Pittsburgh. I don't think you understand how hard it is to support a team that literally just gets there and then doesn't do anything. I really hope you understand. Cool. We get 16 weeks. I get 4 months of, damn, man, they look good. They could do it. Da-da-da. No, I'm finally pulling the wool out from over my eyes and realizing that getting to the playoffs is not success. That's not. Anyway, Browns. Dylan Gabriel threw the ball 52 fucking times. Are you kidding me?
And he still had less yards than A-Rod.
I was going to say that he had 4 yards per attempt.
First off, are we going to see the first quarterback to go through Tommy John surgery because of overthrowing? Like, unbelievable. Second off, Browns. Where the fuck is Jerry Jeudy this season? I don't understand what's going on. I understand the Browns are a crapshoot, and they really are a crapshoot, but, like, you have Jerry Jeudy, who put up good numbers last year, who is becoming a quote-unquote household name to football fans last year for what he was doing with the Browns, as bad as the Browns were. I don't understand. Moving from the other side to talk about my team, Aaron Rodgers is starting to get comfortable in our system, and I mean starting to get comfortable. He's not going to put up old A-Rod numbers, but, like, He's doing the rollout and then directing a receiver and throwing a back shoulder diving touchdown catch. He's throwing the fucking underhand 2-foot flip passes to running backs on a check down when he's stuck. Aaron Rodgers is starting to get comfortable, and we're seeing shades of old A-Rod, but we'll never see full old A-Rod. My other note here is kind of insane. We have the same problem that the Bears have a lot of the time, is we just don't know how to score a touchdown. So I'm just going to say it better because I'm not going to compare my team to the Bears. I said, I feel like we're a better version of the Dallas Cowboys because our whole MO on offense right now is let's get into field goal range. Our kicker will bail us out. Because Boswell might be our leading scorer this year. Like, I don't understand the aspect of, especially with a lot of these, like, bubble fringe, like, middle, like, maybe, like, 7 to, like, 13 teams this year who can't play red zone offense. Like, it's not just my team. We've seen it a lot, and I brought it up to Retro earlier. Caleb Williams and the Bears would be a lot better if Caleb Williams knew how to operate the last 25 yards of the field and they could actually get into the end zone. We see it a lot. Like, I mean, it's happened in Minnesota. Granted, Minnesota's in a crapshoot themselves, but whatever. But, like, Dallas struggles in the red zone. Can't figure it out. Pittsburgh struggles in the red zone. Can't figure it out. Washington, for the most part, scores most of their touchdowns from outside the red zone, so good for you, Retro. You don't have to worry about a red zone offense. Seattle, same thing. Like, I just don't understand what it is these last 20 to 25 yards of the field this year, why people can't punch it in. I think we're seeing a lot more and more 30 and 40-yard field goals this year than we have ever.
We'll trade you a first-round pick for Boswell.
At this point, I'm considering that Brandon Aubrey and Boswell might be worth a first-round pick at this point because of how bad kickers are this year. I mean,
with our god awful kicker situation, I'm willing to trade a first-round pick for Boswell.
I'm sure you are because you got beat by a guy you got beat by a kicker who was a third-round pick that got signed to the team from the practice squad that day. So, anyway, Again, jail. You're in jail.
No. So it's my turn. I said it was my turn. It's my turn. Okay. So just to talk about this game real quick.
Chicago Bears.
Shout out Harold Fannin. He had a big game. Jalen Warren played pretty good. It was low volume but very efficient. So shout out to Jalen Warren. DK had a decent game. Apparently, there are rumors the Steelers are on the market for a receiver. Apparently, the Steelers are looking to get another one.
Don't start this because we were at the same point last year. We were at the same point last year when we were going to trade for Christian Kirk. The deal was finalized on Friday. He got hurt on Sunday.
Well, all I'm saying is there's this guy in Philadelphia. He's not getting utilized very well.
Oh, no.
I'm just gonna put that into the universe.
No.
All I heard is we have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. We're in the market for a receiver. What Packer receiver are we getting from back?
I was gonna say a Packer.
Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, MVS, Jordy Nelson coming out of retirement.
No. You guys are going to get Alan Lazard because that's A-Rod's guy.
Man.
And that's it.
I'll leave it at that with those guys. I want to shout out Jalen Ramsey, who had 2 sacks. Good for Jalen Ramsey. I didn't know he was playing edge this year, but good for Jalen Ramsey.
I'll do you one better. I didn't know Jalen Ramsey was playing 2016-17 Jalen Ramsey football.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. I don't understand how he gets traded up here. We lose Minkah Fitzpatrick, and somehow our defense looks better. I'm so confused.
I want to shout out Nick Herbig because he had 2 sacks. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
And then finally, I'm gonna go ahead and make a call to action. Cleveland, I understand that the Shedeur Sanders pick was a Haslam pick. I get that it was a Haslam pick and none of you like him. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? Given the choice between Mr. System Quarterback, 52 passes, and still can't get over 230 yards passing, 4 yards per pass, Mr. Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, try to put in Shedeur for a few games, please.
Michael Penix is the only left-handed quarterback that is an option in the NFL. Tua sucks.
It is going to be better if you put in Shedeur. At the very least, you'll know what you're getting, right?
At the very least, you can't look worse.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're the Cleveland Browns. You're already
We're
in
the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, dude, you are already at the threshold of hell. You might as well put in Shedeur Sanders and see if he can help. I don't know. It's better than Dylan Gabriel, bro.
Because Retro, I know you gotta bounce on a couple. My last things on this game is Justin, you brought it up beautifully. Basically, like this Cleveland Browns team. Do you remember a couple years ago, because we were talking about Baker Mayfield, when they had Nick Chubb, who could be Quinshawn Judkins. They had Jerry Jeudy, who could have been either OBJ or Jarvis Landry, and their other no-name receiver, who could be either Jarvis Landry or OBJ when talking about shit. And
That team was
everybody's
better by far.
and that team was better, but I remember the narrative was like, why is OBJ and Jarvis Landry just not getting touches? It's because they have a monster in the backfield named Nick Chubb running for 100 yards a game. And now, granted, your Steelers were able to, contain Quinshawn Judkins, giving him
For the
only
most
fucking
part,
30
yes.
for the and that's fine. So outside of running the football, where Kevin Stefanski loves to do, they're in this process of finding a new identity, and if you want to do the call action to Shador, that's still fine. Harry Finnegan is a fucking rookie; he's going to be really good. But getting somebody alongside with Jerry Jeudy to where it's like, okay, now they look like a competent offense, because when you shut down Quinshawn and we're having Dylan Gabriel throw for 52 times and giving you 4 fucking yards per attempt, that's an
Yeah.
issue. So I would say that. And then my other point, you said it beautifully as well, Jalen Ramsey looking like prime Jalen Ramsey, and it's very ironic that the Steelers are able, your system specifically runs
Mm-hmm.
exotic defenses to where we're seeing people get utilized in different ways, and they can still contribute to winning football games. So Jalen Ramsey is being put into all these type of exotic corner blitzes and putting on different types of stuff so that he can still contribute. We talked about him laying the wood down on, I forget the game last week to seal the game, or not last week, a couple weeks ago. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey's looking really, really good. Shout out to you guys for still utilizing him.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like I said, I don't want to give Aaron Rodgers credit where credit's due, but I think a lot of the derivative of his success right now is that Aaron Rodgers will forever and always be a great tight end quarterback, and we now have three valuable tight ends that are actually doing the job in Washington: Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth. Which Pat Freiermuth was probably the staple of our offense the last 2 years. Honestly, like he's been like the guy who. He was getting checkdowns. He was getting a lot of the targets for whatever quarterback it was. He's almost gone non-existent, in my opinion, with Washington and Jonnu Smith being here. But the fact that we have 3 tight ends like this, there's got to be a team out there that would service from one of these 3, and I would assume that it'd either be Freiermuth or Jonnu would be the expendable one, for the simple fact that Washington is as young as he is. So I just, like I said, I would love to see them trade one of them and try to make a piece, whether it's on the offense or defensive side. I really don't care. Like I said, they show signs of greatness, but they're not great. They're barely even good, but they are winning games, which is kind of insane. And Retro and I talked about it. Yeah, 10-7's looking pretty realistic. I could see them honestly going 12-5 just because of the way their schedule is set up and the way some of these big teams they have down the road are playing right now. I mean, it's just it's insane that Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs, and if they consistently stay at this level and we see Aaron rise in like a wild card or a first round game, is like you could see Pittsburgh actually winning a playoff game. They're not going to get to the Super Bowl, but you could see Pittsburgh winning a playoff game, which would almost cement that Tomlin has another 5 years in him, which I would go insane.
Wouldn't it be so funny, because Retro talked about it, is that the AFC is much weaker because we're seeing the top end, all basically. Wouldn't it be so funny if the Steelers do end up making an AFC championship? Let's say they lose to whoever, right? That A-Rod retires, goes off in the sunset, and then Steelers fans still have to suffer with Mike Tomlin for another 5 years, going 9-8, doing the same shit over and over and over.
I'll do you one better. It's never going to happen. We'll just live in the game of ifs on this one. But as much time as I spent hating Pittsburgh this year, if they fluked their way to a Super Bowl win, I'm going to want to just lose my mind. It's never going to happen, but I've spent my entire year hating on what everything we've done is, and our coach not being... I don't care. Anyone can say I'm spoiled with Mike Tomlin. Sure. you can say that, but you're living off of Mike Tomlin's namesake right now because Mike Tomlin's not the old Mike Tomlin. But if they got there and won it, like, I would probably just be like, well, that happened. Like, I'd be happy because my team won a Super Bowl, but like, well, that happened would literally be how it went because spend the whole year hating on it, the moves they make, confuse the shit out of me, and somehow I'm wrong because Minka Fitzpatrick trade for Jalen Ramsey and the entire football world was convinced that that's the wrong trade and that we lost that trade. And that Jonu's been great. Jalen's been unbelievable. Signing Aaron Rodgers after not drafting a quarterback, not doing anything. And yes, I said not drafting a quarterback because let's be real, I don't know when he's ever going to play if Will Howard even gets a shot in the NFL because he can't stay healthy in practice. But like, it's sickening to me that our team is as quote unquote bad as they are and still winning games. Like, it's just makes no sense.
Yeah.
With that, Retro, I know you got to bounce relatively soon.
Yeah.
I know we did kind of want to talk quickly about the Kansas City Lions game. I don't really care to talk about it. Both teams played, honestly, to me, both teams played really mediocre and it was just who was going to finish the game. The Lions looked really, really bad this game, but
Yeah, my point on this was why the fuck does Detroit, when every other game this year was one of the top teams in sending pressure against the opponent's offensive line and QB, but all of a sudden they're like, Patrick Mahomes, let's play coverage against Patrick Mahomes. What happens when somebody with that talent?
Let's send a 3-man rush at one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and let him pick our defense apart.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that, like, I know we were kind of shit talking Patrick Mahomes.
I'll still shit talk him.
Yeah, and he might have hurt us, but putting context behind it, because people want to claim me to be a fucking stat guy. Me watching the game, why is Detroit, who's arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL, and giving takeaways, saying, yeah, let's send 3, send 4, and then put 8 in coverage, when Patrick Mahomes, through 5 years of his career, was not only blowing the cover off of cover 2s, then was able to adjust when everybody started putting cover 3s and cover 4s there, is to be able to check down and be able to methodically move the ball. So that's why Patrick Mahomes is so great. But at the end of the day, even Tom Brady's weakness and Peyton Manning's weakness was what? Putting pressure on him. So why do we let somebody with that type of arm talent to be like, let's pick him, let him pick us apart, and let's let Jared Goff, who is still definitely a good quarterback, still be able to try to do stuff. No, this isn't Jared Goff and on the Rams versus the Chiefs several years ago when they had that legendary Monday night game. No, this is completely different, and it just frustrates me. It frustrates the hell out of me. So.
All right, Retro, I want to get into this quickly just before you have to get off here. I want to do this pick. I want to hit these 2 quick pick 3 cut 5s and a would you rather. Just because I have something in store that's just absolutely unbelievable. So, the first one is current running backs, and the first one is DeAndre Swift.
Like, obviously it's a cut, bro. Get him out of here.
Jules, we cutting him?
Plays one good game.
Again, shout out to my boy from back home, DeAndre Swift. Ended your football career. Love you. Yes, we're cutting.
All right, cool. This one actually has 9 on the list for the simple fact that the second running back is DeAndre Swift against the Commanders.
Okay, buddy. Like,
that's an instant keep. What are we doing? We're cutting.
I'll just cut him.
Move on to the next running back.
The next one is King Henry.
Keep.
Jules, no arguments there? Jules?
I don't like it. I don't like it. because he's been dog shit after like week 2. But fine.
He hasn't been bad. He just
He
hasn't been. No,
That motherfucker should be the guy instead of the headless horseman in the
Derrick
Butterfingers
Henry.
commercial. He should be the one holding the Butterfinger.
Derrick Henry is 8th in the league in rushing, and every single running back ahead of him, besides 2, have more carries.
Is he leading the league in fumbles right now?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just because you fumble doesn't mean you're a bad running back. He has a turnover problem.
I feel like that's the entire criteria behind we shit on Ramondre Stevenson.
He's still producing. I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't
All
buy
right.
it.
Didn't produce against the Rams this past week.
Jules, he wants to keep. What do you want? All right, cool. Retro and you are going to fight over this one because I know how high he is on it. Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, keep. What? He's been the best running back in the league this year. Keep.
I would.
He's literally leading the league. Yeah, he's leading the league in rushing and leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Keeping him. Next is Saquon.
I would cut. I'm gonna be honest.
If it's this year, I'll cut.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but
the best receiving back in the league, Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, that's. Listen, we have to. I don't know what to say.
What?
I mean,
have to what?
We have to keep them.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
You're gonna use all. Hold on, you're using all 3 keeps with 3 names.
Well, because the only rationale behind not keeping him is it's like, well, his rushing yards aren't that high because he's basically a receiver at this point. But that's kind of like the whole point of a receiving back. So, I mean, I'm fine with those 3 being the keeps. That's cool with me. I'm good.
Got it. All right. Keep. So we kept Henry, Taylor, and McCaffrey to cut DeAndre Swift twice. Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery. I feel like you know where it goes after David Montgomery. Goes right to his backfield partner, Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's fine.
And Bijan Robinson.
That sucks. I would have kept Bijan for Derrick Henry, but everything else is fine. That's fine.
The next one is all-time NFC North, and this gets nasty really fast. Starting with Clay Matthews.
Nah. I love Clay, though. I do love Clay.
Charles Tillman.
Cut.
Barry Sanders.
Keep.
Brett Favre.
Oh.
I already know where this is going. I'm cutting him. Just for Justin, I'm cutting him because I know how he feels about him.
That's cool. Next is his predecessor or his apprentice, Aaron Rodgers.
I would keep him.
But like
the NFC North when it comes to QBs and all-time guys.
It's not just QBs. You've got guys like Walter Payton that are still around. You've got a bunch of like defensive players that are really, really good. Like
Walter Payton is a fucking plumber, so I don't care. Aaron Rodgers.
I guess we can keep Mr. 1 and 4. We can keep him.
Got it. Calvin Johnson. I told you this one got nasty real fast. You got 2 free ones you couldn't debate.
What are we? Now I feel like we have to. But then if Walter Payton comes up, then it's like
Barry is better than Walter.
Yeah, but Walter's better than Calvin.
Why? Because of the postseason success?
Postseason success. Okay. Walter Payton played for the Bears, okay? And he wasn't the quarterback.
Yeah, and he got carried by that defense, so I'm not moved.
Also, Megatron? Postseason success? At least postseason?
Yeah, no. You said Walter Payton's better than Megatron because of
totality. Did you just compare Walter Payton to Jalen Hurts? Postseason success?
That's nasty word.
No.
That's nasty word.
Barry Sanders is better. So
you have one more.
I'm okay keeping Megatron. That's fine.
Jules, we're keeping.
I mean, he pulled. He shot the bullet before I said anything. So shit.
No, you get to talk.
Yeah, no. I thought you wanted to. If you want to, I'm down.
I'm fine with cutting him because you want Walter Payton removed by Plummer.
You bring up a fair point that since Barry is better than Walter, at the very least, we'll get the best receiver and the best running back in that division's history. So that's
crazy. The best receiver, that's cool. So you kept Barry, you kept A-Rod, and you kept Calvin Johnson to cut Clay Matthews, Charles Tillman, Brett Favre, Walter Payton, and Randy Moss.
Oh wait.
Oh wait is right. The best receiver. You're a funny guy. All right, new segment. Shout out to our boys on TikTok. We know who they are.
Why do you have to load all the good, like the best end?
I told you they both got nasty really fast because they got loaded.
Megatron in the NFC North is still probably better than Randy. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine. Anyway, would you rather? All right, so we got would you rather quarterbacks, and this is you guys are gonna have to take a little bit of discussion on these. I have a feeling. It's would you rather Baker Mayfield edition, and this is exactly the one that was done on TikTok that we have all seen.
Is it this year or in general? Because if it's this year,
yes, in general, everything,
in general.
everything, in a vacuum, everything.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield and Bo Nix.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love.
Baker.
Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones.
Baker.
Baker Mayfield, C.J. Stroud.
Baker.
Cool.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers.
Baker.
Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott.
Baker.
Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert.
Baker.
I don't know, Jules. Before you joined the Riverside chat earlier, we were talking about how Justin Herbert is the most successful Oregon quarterback of all time.
Justin Herbert has so much talent, and he's so good when he's utilized correctly. He's had over 5,000 yards in a season before. Gosh, dude.
These are also, if I'm not mistaken, these are the two guys that simultaneously had the rookie touchdown record, correct?
I think so. I don't want to say like if you give Herbert, Egbuka, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I understand that he has like Ladd and QJ, but Ladd and QJ versus Egbuka and Mike, we're talking about apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Herbert. I'm taking Herbert. That's me.
Well, we'll come back to Justin Herbert, and you guys can debate it out a little better. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts.
Baker. Right now, Baker. Yeah. If it was in a playoff game, I would take Jalen Hurts.
Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold.
Baker. You know who you're taking. You do. If
I'm taking Sam Darnold.
No, you're not. If you did a 1-for-1 trade today, you would take Baker over Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and I'm getting literally the same exact stats. And mind you, Sam Darnold has a better touchdown to interception ratio, better passer rating, better QBR.
Jules, my brother has heard every one of these would you rathers from down the hallway and answered Baker on all of them. And even he goes, as a Seahawks fan, taking Darnold is criminal.
Well, because your quarterback will get to the playoffs and throw 3 picks like he did last year and basically be fundamentally useless.
with fundamentally the worst offensive line in the playoffs, and then this offensive line in the regular season is better. So still taking Sam Darnold.
We'll come back to Darnold as well. You guys can debate those two so far. The last one is Matt. The last one's Matt Stafford.
I'll take Stafford.
Baker.
Yeah,
all right, we got 3 to talk about, so let's go back to Herbie.
Yeah, I'm just taking Herbert purely based off of talent, and then also he can produce better when given the opportunity, and he has done so. I don't know if I think that at their peaks that Baker can produce as well as Herbert can. So I will take Herbert.
Yeah, you bring up the peak argument, and that's fine, but we also just established that Baker has had to go from situation to situation and situation, and has basically dealt the hand that he's dealt, and he's done fantastic. With Justin Herbert,
but now he's in his best situation, and it's not like he's producing.
Cool. And then with Justin Herbert being now limited, putting a cap onto him, yes, this year has been good, but we want to talk about throwing, multiple picks in a playoff game. Justin Herbert just did that last year, right?
He did.
So that's very
It's-
ironic. We want to use it for him, but not Justin Herbert. Okay, so we're putting up the same type of stuff. Baker Mayfield then owns the Philadelphia Eagles, other than this year, and then he even is still getting to competitive games against you guys last year, right?
Yeah, well,
so,
I mean, Justin Herbert and Baker both have losing to the Commanders in common. That's true. I don't disagree. I think that
Williams is better than both. Got it.
I think that as far as this is concerned, you make the good point about Justin Herbert and his playoff performance, but I unironically think that because we're talking about who we'd rather have today, if he wasn't on the Chargers and I could have him on like Washington instead, the Chargers are a cursed franchise. If he's on Washington, he'll start to win playoff games. It's just the way the Chargers are. Phillip Rivers couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. I think that it's literally just the franchise. So my thing is, if you move Herbert off the Chargers, because obviously this is a hypothetical, I think I'd rather have.
And even with that, Baker Mayfield has been to multiple franchises and still got them to the playoffs. So even with that, I know what is happening, and he's rising these teams who are irrelevant or in bad situations to better situations. So to me, I would take that.
I think that's fair. Like, I think it's fair to take both. Like, I could see the argument for both quarterbacks. I'm fine with that. The Sam Darnold argument's insane, but I'm fine with this.
No. I'm moved by Sam Darnold. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. My Riverside just closed itself. So anyway.
No, you're fine. The Sam Darnold thing. I want my big fucking ginger. I don't care.
No,
BFG for life. Yes, I do.
No,
yes, I do.
What did we agree on for Herbert?
We just kind of said we can both see where each other are coming from.
Yeah, we're split.
Good because that's the one quarterback that I would literally put them back to back chain together because I literally think they arguably do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty similar. Sam Darnold is an insane take. Sam Darnold's wild. That's crazy.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying for this year, all time, you got.
Well, we're saying general, though. We agreed it was general. And if we're saying general, even this year, Baker is better than Darnold. But, like, outside of that, even if we weren't talking just this year, Sam Darnold has literally only been successful in situations that are, like, made perfectly tailored for him to succeed. Kevin O'Connell's Viking system, which has made every quarterback, the Pastronaut, look good in that system for a while. So Sam Darnold gets there, looks really good because he has Jettas and Addison and a loaded running back core and TJ Hawkinson, all the weapons he needs. And then he gets to two big games back-to-back against the Lions for the 1 seed where he entirely fails, and then the next week in the playoffs and then he's, off. So
I want to speed this up for you. We're going to do it the same way we normally do Perry. I'm going to speed it up for you. I'm going to give you 3 criterias, and you guys both answer, okay?
Sure.
Out of the both of them, who's got better arm talent?
Baker.
Sam Darnold was
Heisman winner Baker Mayfield.
And Sam Darnold was in the Heisman multiple years as well. So I would still take Baker.
Okay. All right. So, game management.
Sam Darnold.
I can.
Sam Darnold.
Game management. The thing is, game management on good teams, yeah, but game management on bad teams, no. So it literally just depends on. Baker's done it on both, so I'm saying Baker.
And the last one I would be is clutch gene.
Baker. Sam Darnold doesn't have a clutch gene, so
got it. Sam Darnold loses. Mm-hmm. I think again this is another one he can be tailored into it, but I think Sam Darnold is being judged off of his last 2 years, not a body of work. So yeah. I understand it, so they can be tailored. Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's an all-time receiver merchant.
Here's the thing. We're looking with Matt Stafford, we are looking at literally just his little brother in Baker Mayfield going from an impossible situation.
Yeah, so Stafford is just better. He did more. So he was in a terrible situation, but he made the most out of it.
But-
Played as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Jules wants to talk about all-time receiver merchants. I want to talk about how Stafford makes these all-time receivers. If you look in the receivers who are currently on pace to be in the top 3 for like all-time receiving yards, you've got Cooper Kupp, which is a Matthew Stafford product. You have Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford product, and now he's making.
Hold on. You're not gonna water down Calvin Johnson to a
And
Matthew
now he's
Stafford
making
product.
now he's making Puka Nacua, some random receiver out of BYU who nobody knew who he was. Now he's making him look like one of the best receivers in the league. So my point being, we need to stop saying Matthew Stafford is an all-time receiver merchant and start talking about how he creates all-time receivers.
Listen, we can talk about BYU guys who had immediate success in the league and then turned into their wife's husband. So we can really talk about it.
But mind you, you want to talk about the fact that Sam Darnold needs the absolute great situation. What does Stafford get in 2021? Super team?
Yeah, situation. He was playing well in Detroit before
all time perfect situation. And then what has he done? And what has he done since then?
He's played as one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Baker hasn't.
Matthew Stafford was literally like one Jalen Carter masterclass drive away from beating the Eagles and probably beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Wasn't Baker a field goal away from beating all?
Yeah, in the first round against the team that he was supposed to beat, against a team he was favored to beat, against a team that he should have beaten because our team was terrible, and he got outplayed by a rookie quarterback. Yes, he should have.
Not was is.
Right, so ultimately Baker should have won that game and didn't. He got outplayed by a rookie. So realistically, Matthew Stafford has done more in the playoffs. He's put up more impactful stats. Year over year, he had better production, and in a worse situation, he still performed better because even in Detroit, he was performing at a very high level. So for me, Matthew Stafford ticks all the boxes. Like I'm taking Matthew Stafford.
Jules, if you'd like to fight the other side, we can add JD5 to this conversation.
Well, absolutely not, because we're talking about, general totality in career. Because again, talking about reputation and what they've done compared to what is happening. It's the goalpost moving, guys. It's why the NFL community fucking sucks. It's that
general.
In general, what has he done compared to Baker Mayfield? 1 year versus Baker Mayfield's totality.
No,
right?
We're not going to pretend like he's only had one good year. Stafford on the Lions was consistent.
No, I said JD5.
Oh, okay. So, as far as JD5 is concerned, yeah, I mean, you could say that JD5 is but like, then the question is like, the question then becomes who would you rather have, I guess, and it's like I would rather have JD5, but I get
because
the point.
He's younger.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield's career is better, sure. Well, actually, I don't even know if I'm willing to grant that, because even in Baker Mayfield's career, his playoff success isn't as good as Jaden Daniels says.
Because he's on the Browns.
Well, okay, sure, and then he went to Tampa Bay. Wait, speaking of, last year, Jaden Daniels shouldn't have had playoff success. He was supposed to go to Tampa Bay and play a certain quarterback and then lose. It was supposed to be the rookie going to lose to Baker Mayfield. But instead, the rookie beats Baker Mayfield and outplays him. So, realistically, yeah, I mean, JD shouldn't have more playoff success. Baker should have more playoff success. But JD outplayed him last year.
So just so we're clear here, though, that's actually a pretty solid comparison, though, if you even throw JD5 into this. For Baker, Herbert, Darnold, Stafford, and JD5, they're really all kind of in that same category. They're scratching to the top, but they're not at the top four yet.
Don't ever put my GOAT in the same conversation as Sam Darnold, please.
It all goes back to people value quarterback wins, so Caleb Williams by this is better than JD5. Thank you, Justin.
That's not how this works.
That's exactly how this works.
Jaden Daniels took a football team that was favored to win 5 games, took them to 12 wins in the NFC Championship. If you're going to say that Jaden Daniels was not the biggest reason for why that happened, you can't tell me that it was like,
who was favored to win, the Commanders or the Bears? The Commanders. Very, very, very ironic how that can't be used. But
anyway,
hold on. 5 wins to 12 wins versus 1 game.
Where's Bear down? Justin, give me Bear down right now.
So just so we're clear right now, the quarterback wins thing, I love to use it as a rage bait argument for the simple fact that this is exactly why. Because we just played the Madison Beer Trophy game last week with Justin Herbert.
Mind you,
Spencer
Drake May now owns that trophy, by the way.
True, yeah, Drake May does own the Madison Beer Trophy. That's true.
I will keep
Exactly,
track
so-
of that for the rest of the year, just for you.
That's the best thing in the world. Nobody's playing for the Super Bowl. They're playing for the Madison Beer Trophy.
There's a guy. I would shout out to this guy on TikTok named CFB Budge, but he does college football and he keeps track of a similar trophy called the McGuffin Trophy, and the McGuffin Trophy gets transferred year over year, or game over game, year over year. So
If
yeah,
we can continue the Madison Beer Trophy through next year and make that like the staple of the
we
podcast,
need to keep track of that now.
I'm in. I'm
Sure.
so in for it. All right. Well, that was our Would You Rather. We established that Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold, and Stafford are all kind of in the same category right now. Stafford probably has the most success of the four.
Stafford is the
based
Michael
on
Jordan
career.
of Baker Mayfield's. That's what Stafford is. He's the Michael Jordan of Baker Mayfield's. That is what Matthew Stafford is.
Okay. Anyway, we'll move in. We'll swiftly go down this list of game slots for this week. Go through quickly. Thursday night, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh, anyway. The Rams at Jacksonville.
Actually, it's the Rams versus Jacksonville at London.
Yeah, it's London game.
The Rams at Jacksonville. Doesn't matter where it's played. They're technically the home team.
I was going to say, Jacksonville's low-key...
Jacksonville's a home team anytime they're not on U.S. soil because they don't win at home anyway, so what does it matter?
True. Yeah, give me the Rams. Give me the Rams.
Give me the Jags.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Jags. The Rams have really been something else, and it's only a 2.5 point line this week for them, so it's kind of crazy.
Michael Jordan of Baker Mayfield's Matthew Stafford.
Anyway, that's clippable at this point. The Saints play the Bears in Soldier.
The Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
The Saints.
Anyway.
I hope so.
In the crapshoot clusterfuck of the week, Miami at Cleveland.
That's
the real winner is the players. The real losers are anybody that watches this game. Nobody cares.
First time podcast history, I'm calling a fucking tie, dog.
I like that. I like that out of you.
I'm going in as a tie.
You know what, Jules? You weren't the only one that thought it because I also had them tying.
I'm gonna give the game to Cleveland though.
And the worst part is, Jules, you know what score I have for the tie?
What, 2-2?
21-21. 3 field goals and a touchdown. I'm in for it.
I'm going to say that Cleveland wins, and I'm also going to say that Dylan Gabriel has a legacy game.
I'm gonna one up you. I hope Dylan Gabriel has a dog shit first quarter and we see Shedeur. New England at Tennessee.
New England.
New England.
Don't know how this line is only 12.5, but Vegas at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
KC by 40. Interesting game here. Shouldn't be, but is. Philadelphia at Minnesota.
Philadelphia.
Wait. Isn't JJ coming back?
Would that sway you to pick Philly?
No, well, I'm just making sure before I'm picking Philly, but I think will Viking. Oh yeah, they might have him return against fucking Philly. Oh, Philly by 1 million. By 1 million.
You want to hear what the line is?
It has to be a pick'em game.
1.5.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. That is disgusting.
Carolina versus the Jets.
Carolina.
I'm picking the Jets until they fucking run Justin Fields, my god, into the ground. Justin
Rico
Fields.
Dowdle runs for 250
I'm
yards.
going to say this right now. I'm taking Carolina strictly because Bryce Young might suck, but Bryce Young probably leads the most game-winning drives at any quarterback in the NFL right now, and he plays the micromanagement game, which is hilarious.
The masses don't need to know that right now. Shh.
Oh, the masses? Yeah, well, Justin Fields is not God, Jules. I'm sorry, and I really wanted to be on the hype train, and I think it's the Jets that are failing him, not him failing the Jets. But anyway,
I agree.
the frat boys play at Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
Probably Denver.
Yeah, let me get the Giants.
Nah, fuck that.
Indy at LAC playing the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. I'm going Indiana Jones.
I'm taking Madison Beer's boyfriend.
Hell yeah. The pick'em match of the week, Washington at Dallas.
Dallas.
Neither team can stop the run. Neither team's quarterback wants to be efficient. Neither team can hold on to the football. George Pickens is the best receiver in this game. Give me Dallas.
Dallas.
That's unbelievable out of you.
Dak is going to eat.
Green Bay at the Mini Merchants home in Arizona.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Atlanta at San Fran.
San Fran.
Atlanta.
Give me Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I agree.
Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit's favored by 5.5.
Detroit.
Disgusting. Baker Mayfield has aura.
Give me Jared Goff.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually just gonna put this one in a tie as well.
That's disgusting. See, my cat's even saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" Shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tampa's receivers can't stay healthy, and Detroit after that. I mean, Detroit should stomp them after the way they played against KC. So,
Jules, how about CJ Stroud at your boys? Where are you going with this one?
I'll let everybody pick first.
That's fine. I'll take JSN. Give me Seattle.
Yeah, give me Seattle.
This is a classic trap game. My cat agrees it's going to be CJ Stroud.
Did you also notice, I want to say this before I bring up the fact of the day, I don't know if you guys watch television or whatever, or see it during the games that are on. Did you guys notice that Applebee's is now using a commercial that has CJ Stroud in it, and I'm convinced they didn't release it until he played a good game this year?
Yes, they were definitely waiting until he had a legacy game.
It was
like,
all
right, now
it was all Dan Campbell. It was all Dan Campbell, and then all of a sudden CJ Stroud is now the server, and Dan Campbell's relaying it through the headset to him what he should say to the people in the restaurant. But yeah. Shout out CJ. Hope Sam Darnold absolutely body bags their team, because maybe then Houston will actually, get CJ some linemen to block for him. But anyway, today in sports history is an interesting one, and it's very close to my heart because it is my favorite sport to watch, because I believe it is the only sport that cannot be faked because it moves too fast. October 14th, 1979, Edmonton Oilers' Wayne Gretzky scores his first career goal. The fact that this man is actually the GOAT of all GOATs, and nobody can tell me differently, because
not true.
You can say what you want. He literally holds, I believe it's like 23 or 24 records in the NHL, and before Ovechkin passed him in goals, if you would have taken away his goals or assists, he'd still be the all-time NHL point leader.
There's a guy with 23 gold medals that would like to talk to you.
I don't care. I'm telling you, Gretzky is the GOAT of all GOATs, and Phelps is right behind him. Phelps is right behind him. Phelps is right behind him.
Do you know that Phelps has over 100 world championship medals? Phelps is the GOAT of all GOATs of all GOATs of all GOATs.
It sounds like Phelps was swimming against plumbers.
Also,
Facts.
Jordan is above Gretzky because Jordan is the undisputed greatest basketball player of all time.
And with that, Jules, I'll take it from you this week. With that, that's been the We Don't Know Ball podcast. Shout out to Jules and Retro. Thank you guys again. I could give a shit how many viewers we have at this point. I'm having fun with it. If we ever take off, we take off. So be it. I'm having fun with it. Yeah. Well, I just got one thing to say and one thing to say only. Bear down, Chicago Bears. They will always beat the Commanders.
Jules, what do you have to say?
I was gonna say that the NBA starts soon, so for the NBA people who know us, we'll be making NBA
For the
content.
NBA fans that don't know ball,
for majority of the people, we will be pushing out NBA content. Hopefully within the next week or so. So with that, guys, we're out.
Kobe White is better than SGA.
And JD5 sucks. Bear down.
Kobe White is better than Shea.